Being an idol is already difficult on its own, all the hectic schedules, the training, and the public judgment. But there are some obstacles that may not be as obvious as others, especially if it has to do with something like height, a physical attribute that you can't either change or control. Korean beauty standards seem to indicate that the taller the better, but it's actually not like that. At least for an idol, it can bring a series of somehow funny complications, but it can also become a serious problem. Sometimes the weather isn't as sunny up there as one may think. How about we discuss this topic a bit more? Tell me any other struggle of the tall idol I may be missing. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps a lot. Being tall could have its own set of general problems, like finding clothes that fit right, or bumping your head once in a while. But when we talk about K-pop groups, well, I will say the difficulties arise when there is a significant difference in height between the members. There are quite a lot of groups with this situation. Just to list a few: Red Velvet, Different, Everglow, IZ*ONE, Twice, ATEEZ, SF9, 17, EXO, and many more. But what exactly they have to go through? To start with, it is known that many idols and companies tend to lie about the height of the members. They may add some centimeters here and there, or for tall idols, they subtract them. This is mainly done to follow a balance or harmony within the group, not that it isn't weird and unnecessary in my opinion. And besides, it makes the fandoms wonder for years whether an idol is actually the height they say they are. Yeah, I'm looking at you, So-won. Anyway, that is just the first part. To keep the set balance or harmony, they also have to pose quite uniquely for photos. It's not all the times, but still wouldn't think they like doing it. And if they don't do that, then they always have to be in the back or in the corners. And this transfers to their choreographies too. Apart from their solo parts, they tend to be positioned in the back or the corners. I would suppose it is not that problematic aside from being less seen on the center, but it may be frustrating for those idols that are really good dancers, or are even the main dancer, and have to stand in the back for most of the song. For example, this happens sometimes with ATEEZ. Yoon and Mingi occupy the back and side positions mainly because of their height, and they are some of the best dancers in the group. But well, the solo part can compensate the situation. However, what it is impossible to compensate is the synchrony and choreography lines they have to adapt to. And when I say adapt, I really mean it. They have to add more effort for the choreographies, as some steps will need them to bend their legs more, open their legs wider, or control their hand gestures to keep the choreography in symmetry. One example is Chewie from Twice in Fancy, where she will have to bend her legs a bit awkwardly to look similar with the other members. You can also see it in A-Pink, where Hayeon had to carry a bit more of her weight when jumping and squatting to keep the choreography line and formation. And there are also instances where being tall means you can't do the full steps in time with the rest of the members. So you just have to be inventive, like ATEEZ Yuno in I'm the One promotions. I suppose it can get a bit tiring if you have to do it every time you perform, so I really admire the endurance of all the tall idols. Also, I understand how difficult it could be for them handling some outfits, so respect for that too. Having members with different heights make it stylists use some tricks? That's what I should call them. To keep the balance in the group. And usually, tall idols are the ones that get the worst part of this. For example, in Red Velvet you can see Joy using two skirts for the promotion of Ice Cream Cake to add length to the clothes, but it doesn't look good. And you can also see that when groups are using the same style of outfits, stylists try to give roughly the same size of clothes to all members so that it won't stand out too much or affect the image of the design, and that ends up with the tallest member having some uncomfortable, or should I say shorter, outfits. And now to shoes. The different size of heels is a common strategy that every group uses, no matter if they are boy groups or girl groups. For tall idols, they always have to use the least amount of heels as possible, and though it can be considered more comfortable than the 9-inch heels other members have to use, it also affects their silhouette. It is known that heels make your legs look longer and makes a slender figure, and when all the other members are using them, the tall member may look a bit wider or squarish, not as elongated. This takes me to the next point, and the one I consider the most important. Up to here, we have talked about expected struggles, some even funny to some extent, but that is not all. The most serious problem, or what I would consider a huge pressure for the tallest member, is the so-called giant effect. An idol has to maintain a certain image, and that includes having a slender figure. However, when you are constantly compared with people that have different proportions, it can get really distorted. Different heights will mainly indicate different density, bone structure, and musculature. Not that one is better than other, but it will certainly affect the overall figure. That is why there are several ways to type a body, and to style it, just like with the Kpop body typing system. Of course, a thin person will continue to be a thin person, no matter their height, but when your structure is by proportion wider or longer, with more density and more muscles, no matter how thin you really are, compared with people with a more petite structure, you can look quite big. There have been several idols that have talked about this, as well as the extra pressure they have to maintain their figure because of their height and proportions. Young from A-Pink has referred to herself as the biggest in the group, pointing out mainly that she looks different from the rest of the members because of her body form and structure. Another example of this is Nara from Hello Venus. She was the tallest member, and logically, the one with the most weight because of that. However, she has stated that she felt she needed to diet from debut to look better on stage and to not look bigger or fatter compared to the other members. She went from 56 kilograms, a stable weight for her 171 centimeters height, to 47 kilograms, way below the recommended weight. The perception of your body can get a bit distorted when you are comparing yourself constantly to others. And for an idol, this happens all the time. Being tall has its advantages, and I think most people only think about those most of the time. However, not everything is perfect, and there are struggles that more people should know about, so that they not criticize and hate indiscriminately. Hope you liked the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.